With artificial intelligence getting smarter and more powerful every single day, you have to wonder, could it ever be truly conscious like us? Or maybe even something more? Well, today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating framework from our source material that actually compares three totally distinct forms of intelligence. So let's just start with the big question right up front. I mean, we see AI doing these incredible things, right? Writing, coding, making art. But does all of that raw power actually equal wisdom? Hmm, let's break that down.
First up, let's talk about artificial intelligence. The source material we're looking at has this really powerful way of thinking about it. It calls AI a powerful but ultimately empty mirror. So what in the world does that mean?
Okay, so here's the deal. AI's intelligence really comes from one thing, recognizing patterns in just unimaginable amounts of data that we feed it. It's an absolute master at it. But, and this is the whole point, it does all of this without any inner world. There's no sense of I, no self-awareness, and zero real grasp of the meaning behind any of the words or images it's processing. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? An AI can scan millions of poems, figure out the rules, the meter, the rhyming schemes, and then generate a new poem that looks and sounds just like a love poem. It might even be pretty good. But the AI itself feels nothing. It doesn't know love, or heartbreak, or joy. It's just a flawless performance with no one home. Yeah, think about it like this. AI's main goal is always optimization, finding the fastest, most efficient answer. But it doesn't have a purpose of its own. We're the ones who give it its marching orders. It can't learn anything from, lived experience, a scraped knee, a first kiss, a tough loss. Its entire universe is literally just the data we've given it. That's it.
Which brings us right back to that main idea. AI is like a perfect, polished mirror. It can reflect back at us these amazing, intricate, complex patterns. But the mirror itself, it's empty. There's nothing inside.
Okay, so if AI is the empty mirror, then what are we? Well, this brings us to the next step up in the hierarchy, human wisdom. And the source describes us as being, well, flawed, but full of feeling. And this little comparison really gets to the heart of the matter. You see, AI is data-driven. Our wisdom is experience-driven. AI just follows instructions. We have to wrestle with this thing called free will. It has no inner world. We are fundamentally self-aware. The difference isn't just a matter of degree, it's a difference in kind. It's the huge gap between calculating something and actually feeling something. So what makes our wisdom so different? Well, it all starts with that basic knowledge of I am, self-awareness. It's painted with the colors of our incredibly rich emotional lives. We have a moral compass, this inner sense that helps us judge right from wrong. And our creativity, it's not just about finishing a task. It's driven by real purpose, by inspiration. But maybe most important of all, our wisdom grows through relationships, through love, trust, and sacrifice. Those are things an algorithm just can't compute. Now, of course, we are far from perfect. Our knowledge is limited, we're full of biases, our judgment can get seriously clouded. But the source argues that this very limitation, the fact that we're finite beings, is exactly what gives our choices real moral weight. It's what makes our lives and our relationships so beautifully complex. And that brings us to the third and final tier in this whole hierarchy, what our source material calls a transcendent creative source, or divine wisdom. Okay, this is where the framework takes a really big leap. You see, both AI and human wisdom are things we sort of acquire or build. But divine wisdom, as it's defined here, isn't learned at all. It is the source. It doesn't just know the rules of the universe, it's the intelligence that actually wrote the rules in the first place. And here it is, the most fundamental difference of all. AI and humans, we work with what's already here. We analyze existing data, we react to the world around us. But the argument from the source is that divine wisdom is creative in the most ultimate sense possible. It brings reality into existence from absolutely nothing. So how do we even begin to wrap our heads around an idea like that? Well, the source gives us a really powerful example. It poses a paradox that logical systems just can't solve. The conflict between perfect justice and infinite mercy. Think about it. How can both of those things exist at the same time? Justice demands that there are consequences, but mercy demands forgiveness. From a purely logical point of view, they completely contradict each other. So the source we're looking at finds a solution within Christian theology, specifically the concept of the cross.
The argument goes that in this one singular event, the demands of perfect justice are fully met, while at the same time, a path for infinite mercy is opened up. According to this view, it's a kind of higher logic, a creative solution to an impossible problem that a human, or an AI, could never come up with on its own.
So the big takeaway here is that this kind of solution isn't a calculation. It's not about optimization. It's presented as an act of creative will, of love, a form of wisdom that operates on principles that go way beyond the simple binary logic we see in our machines. All right, now that we've walked through all three different types, let's put it all together and take a look at the full hierarchy that our source material is presenting. This table just lays it all out so clearly. You can see the whole progression. We start with AI, which is created by us and is purely computational. Then you move up to human wisdom, relational, moral, but also flawed and finite. And at the very top, you have divine wisdom, creative, redemptive, and positioned as the absolute source of everything else. So you can really see this cascading relationship. AI is a tool born from our wisdom. Our wisdom, in turn, is seen as a finite but real reflection of the divine. And the divine is the ultimate source and standard for all of it. We'll end on this ancient quote from the book of Proverbs, which the source uses to drive home its final point. So what does it mean? Well, in this context, it suggests that maybe true wisdom doesn't begin with us having all the answers or building the most powerful computer. Maybe it begins with a humble acknowledgement of our own limits before a source of wisdom that's far greater than ourselves. And in this new age of artificial intelligence, that might just be the most important thing to remember.